No, sorry.
I like to meet you.
Aww.
What did it
Leaning on Tara.
just showing past a line of straight?
Yeah, so it's not. Wait, what? Oh, one is on their way. Tara. Oh, it should be on. It's live now. It says it's live. Okay, perfect. All right.
Just waiting for Tara to arrive and then we get to start. Yep, Millie came out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should I just play? I just. Where?
It's called, I don't remember the name.
What's it? What's the? No. What? I was called. It was cute. It was cute.
It gets very strong.
Opinion period.
It was cute. But like, I had higher expectations.
That's a cute kid.
No, I think it's cute. Even though something I saw our coworker, I was thinking. It's a message.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he's, that's what.
Y'all have over there.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, pizza, or pizza,
Oh.
Try that. Dude, I had my favorite shots. Okay, never mind, never mind. It's what's already then. Okay. The big that you're facing. You have to walk.
Everyone wants to go to work.
You know, I'm telling you your best option. You'll just walk the. That's just nice.
Ooh, I like Russian like that. Actually, do that lunch.
Where you at?
Heroes.
You're in Shoal.
Yeah. What was up next?
My baby's kitchen.
It was fun. Just leave it.
You ever cook better?
Tonight.
I wouldn't work.
I don't, look on the back of the Chromebook there, it's sitting right there. Didn't mean to put. I tried to make it correctly, but then everybody started. They had to, not.
Well, it's a part
That's it.
Perfect. Well, I'm not ignoring it, I'm not doing it. So. Yes, I won't do it.
Right? Thank you. All right. Okay, Tara, are you settled?
I am.
Started.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
All right. All right. I am officially calling this meeting to order at 5:17 p.m. Members, good evening. Thank you so much for being here. A couple housekeeping items on top from me. First, I forwarded y'all a leadership development opportunity from the Charter School Association, of which we're a member. It's called Charter School Leadership Academy. I completed it in 2018. It was very good. I sent it along so that if y'all are interested in applying, you may do so until July 31st. So let me know if y'all have any questions about it, and I'll be happy to answer them. Also, you may have received some meeting invites yesterday or today for charter school grant program governance training webinars. As you all know, we received this grant funding to open the ABR campus. One of the requirements of being a grantee of that program is participating in these series of governance trainings, and they are happening in 3 phases, as they were described to me. Phase 1 is a series of 5 webinars that y'all got meeting invites to. They're happening midday, various days on Wednesdays and Fridays. Phase 2 will be an in-person board training, very similar to what we've done in the past, where the Charter School Association will send someone to do an in-person training with us. I'm going to try to slate that during our August retreat. And then phase 3 is that the department and maybe the association, I'm not sure, but certainly the department will be attending a couple of our meetings between June and September to observe and give feedback and all of that. You may be wondering, this is a lot of training. How is it going to be different from what we've already done? It might not be. However, this is a requirement of some very significant grant funds that we have received. And so I appreciate your attention to it in advance. If you cannot attend all of them, Melissa at the Charter School Association was like, it's fine to miss a couple. She is putting together, like, I think the tool is called Live Binder, where they have the recordings of all the presentations and all the accompanying materials that you'll be able to access. But I expect you all to be as much as you can. I think that was all for the CSP grant stuff. And we have a packed agenda tonight, so I appreciate your attention as always. Okay. Do we have a sign-in sheet?
We do not have sign-in sheet because we're doing them all video now.
Okay,
No.
that's true.
Show that we
Okay.
share.
So I'll do a roll call. shall we?
Yeah, if we can eliminate paper.
Okay. So present here tonight for attendance purposes, myself, Leslie LaVoy, board chair, Nina Hogan, vice chair, Nick McCord, treasurer, Candace Washington, and Tara Clement. Next item is consideration of the minutes from the March meeting. These were emailed to you as a part of the board materials tonight. I will give y'all about 60 seconds to review the minutes. There's not a hard copy, unfortunately.
And they are on the,
They are projected on the screen. So I'll give you a minute to review and ask any questions.
Andrew.
Okay, any questions, errors, flags from my board? Okay, I always trip myself up. Do we need to make the motion to open public comment, or can I do public comment before?
You motion, should you do both?
So, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the March 2025 meeting, waiving the reading?
Yes.
Thank you. Nick makes a motion. Do I have a second? Thank you, Candace. Okay. Do we have public comment on the approval of the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Millie, what is our next item?
So your next item for consideration is going to be the final revision for the 24-25 finance packet. And I'm going to show it on the screen for you all. I also have 2 hard copies if someone needs to look at it. Philip, I don't know if you want to, I can go through it really quickly, and then if there's anything that you need to add or you want to add, or if you want to go through it, I can let you go through it. If you tell me how you want to do it.
You seem excited to do it.
Excited, I don't know. So you all know that when we amended the budget last time, those are not, that's not,
Okay.
if you want a hard copy,
It's fine. Okay.
Yep. So last time you all, we amended the budget based off of what we felt like with the projections for the 2-1 count because MFP had not been finalized by the date of our meeting. And you all approved a budget that would have pulled out $32,934 from the fund balance to meet the need of this fiscal year. The changes based off of MFP, true MFP, and then some changes within funding. When we came to you all in March, we had $250,000 that we were expecting, yes,
Yeah.
to bring in from new schools, Baton Rouge, for the June 30th deadline. They restructured that. We still have the same amount of money. They're just going to be allocating it at different times. So instead of having 250, we'll have 200. The next 50 comes in July 15th, right? So right after the close of the fiscal year. So we had that changed, but then we were also able to bring in some CSP funding this year, which is going to create some administrative indirect costs that will help with some of the expenditures. And ultimately, the budget that we're asking you all to approve is a reduction. So instead of being over by 32, we're over by 15. By individual campuses, the West Bank is to the good by about 7,500. The East Bank is below by about 6,200. Baton Rouge is above, they are putting 5,300 to the good. And then Lafayette wears the bulk of the weight, as they should, based off of their student count, and they would have a negative 21. So overall, it's better than what we projected. And then there's, of course, the details of all of those things. I will make sure that this board packet is emailed to everybody so you have them on the visual copy. If anybody would like to see the hard copy, I have 2 hard copies. If anybody has any questions, Philip, did I miss anything?
No, currently sitting at $105,000 in the bank account, 55 days cash, currently on hand. And once some of those CSP plans go through, we expect that to increase.
It's one of the things that we did this time, that like what you'll see that there's an increase of revenue and expenditures. We bought the van, so $87,000, which is fully reimbursable. So we've expended those funds, but we haven't reimbursed those.
Board members, any questions? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the final revision for the 24-25? Candace makes that motion. Do I have a second? Nina seconded. Thank you. Any public comment on this matter? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. Our next item is consideration of janitorial quotes.
So we received 2 different quotes this year. One coming from Orvis Janitorial, which quoted us for the East and the West Bank. One coming from EDS, who is our current provider, who's on state contract, and they provided us quotes for both, for all 3 campuses. EDS remains the cheaper and the best value. So I am recommending that you all approve the EDS janitorial contract for all 3 campuses for next year. We don't need a contract with Baton Rouge. It's part of our agreement with Baton Rouge.
Are you guys content with the services?
We love our janitorial staff at JCFA campuses. If you haven't been on campus, and that Ms. Crum on this campus or Mr. Thomas on our East Bay campus, In particular, they've been with us the longest, we haven't met them. They're kind of amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, we love our general team.
Any other questions? Okay,
As long as they're doing a good job.
there you go. We don't think that's the cheaper option.
No, we like that.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve, the EDS janitorial, is it a contract or a quote?
It's a contract. Those were the quotes.
For how long?
Contract. It's the annual. Those are annual contracts.
Question. Okay, let me redo that. Do I have a motion to approve the EDS contract for janitorial services on all three campuses?
That would approve the contract for EDS janitorial services. for all campuses.
Thank you, Tara. What a great motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ned. Do I have any public comment on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. What is our next item?
So our next item would be consideration for copier bids. We currently work with Xerox. We've received an additional quote from Advanced Technologies based off of both of the quotes that they were sent to you all in advance. Xerox is still the cheaper of the two, and so we would recommend going with Xerox for our copier services on all three.
Same question, is the one
It is the one that we've been using. We're content. To be honest, we have pushed off getting new units, and so like on this campus, the copier is definitely at end of life. So we really need new units, updated units.
So that's what I was gonna ask about. So they have like, machine cost or whatever. So that's because we're getting upgrade.
Yes, we are getting upgrades, correct. So this is the quotes that they're providing to us, and they are upgrades to what we currently have. We have units that on this campus, one on the East Bank, that we don't get charged currently a meter fee for because that's how they did it. That's how old these are. These are pre-2020 copiers, right? You normally don't keep a copier for that long. But unfortunately, we will have to say goodbye to those and sign new contracts. And as you can see, they are 39 months. So they're just over 3 years. The ones the one in the faculty lounge here, and the one at the student success office on the East Bank. It's struggling. It's struggling. But we've held on to them because of
And so the new machines were actually charged or.
yes, which is what most of our machines, like we have one on this campus, 2 additional ones on the East Bank, and the one in Lafayette that we think that we are already charged those fees for. So it's only going to be 2 of them that we're not currently charged fees for that we're going to start paying.
Any other questions, board members? Do I have a motion to approve the Xerox contract for copiers?
Motion.
Thank you, Nick. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mina. Any public comment on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Before we move on to the next item, Millie, can you remind us why these annual budgets are placed?
Sure, yes. I am giving you all annual budget now. Give it everyone. Yeah, there you go. So we have to release the annual budgets for 25, 26 for public review. And then we have a meeting to discuss them, and the public can comment on them. And then you have a meeting to vote on them. When you first see them, you can't talk about them. You can just have them. They go public tomorrow. Posted on the website. It's been listed in our official journal, which is the Advocate. like the people notice who's running, they'll be available on campuses, somebody wants to come and inspect them, it will be on the website for public consumption, right? So this is just so that you all have, and I'm glad they send you the digital file. But just so that you have some information of what does it look like, what are we budgeting for next year, and then we'll be able to discuss it at that special meeting, public comment. And then you all- It's just so you have a copy of it.
Okay, moving right along. Our next item is consideration of school calendar for next year.
Yes. So you all were emailed this as well. We created some calendars based off of, obviously, the limited amount of time that we have. And you guys know we're year-round school. It means that there are only so many days you can actually have off of school. And it's a lot, right? So this gives us 230 academic days. It is an increase in academic days over last year. Part of the reason why I did that was because we had 5 days of snow last year. We had all types of things that made us close. And we got close, in particular in Lafayette, to where we would have had to add days into our year. And there's no way for us to do that, right? Except to extend the school day. We don't want to do that. I tried to add in 3 days. Because last year was 227, this is 230. This way, when we miss those days, we're not having any issues. What was submitted to our faculty and staff for their review was 3 different versions. This was the version that they liked. However, I'm recommending a simple change to the version. You'll see at the bottom it says fewer PD days, kickoff PD in mid-July, not August. I'm recommending that we actually change that. And if you look on July, it was originally scheduled here, July 18th. We would like to move it to Friday, August 15th. Reason being, there are a number of professional development opportunities that happen to fall that week in July, the 14th through the 18th, that we have been made aware of, that we want to send folks to, and we need to shift in order to be able to do that. So it doesn't impact students necessarily. They have the same number of school days. Instead of being off on July 18th, they're off on August 15th. For staff, they still have the same number of work days. It's just their PD will be in August, which is what we typically do.
How many days are required about our?
It's not days, it's hours, right? You have to have, and we go far above the number of hours required. I would need to ask Lene, like 67.
63,720 minutes are required to be offered.
So
Can you repeat that?
63,720 minutes are required to be offered.
Okay.
So we offer well beyond that, generally we're pretty good. This year, truly because of that snow and in Lafayette, they had multiple really bad flooding days. So they lost a lot of time and we're getting close to where we were worried that we were gonna have to like this Memorial Day thing, change it. So it keeps intact. A pretty even calendar. We have relatively the same number of days in the fall as we do in the spring. We have fewer PD days. We found a lot of people were utilizing their taking leave without pay, so they didn't have to come on the PD days. Well, for group PD they come, but then we had sporadic. April 4th we had a PD day, which really was just a day for students to have off enough to have a record day, clean up day. People were like, no, I'll take a leave without pay. I'm like, it's not important. So instead of stressing people out, just go.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you for that. Do I have a motion to approve the calendar as presented, inclusive of that date change from July to August?
Motion.
Thank you, Nick. Nick made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Tara. Do we have any public comment on the calendar item? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Before we move on. All right, next item is,
Oversight, so consideration for,
I was just reading, I'm sorry.
yep. So,
I got tripped up on myself, because usually it's all inclusive. It's two separate, which is fine.
So we need to create, we need to do two things. The Department of Ed reached out and said, hey, we need you to have an annual calendar, not just one that coincides with the school year. So we need to extend your board calendar through December of 2025. But to do that, we need to vote on a date for an August retreat. I threw out August 9th. Really for no particular reason other than it's early August and that doesn't work for y'all. We can go down the line and figure out what date does.
Thank you. If y'all recall, we have found better success, better use of our time to have a Saturday morning retreat. So we're going to continue that effort this year. During this board retreat, just to give you a little taste of what is on the docket, we're going to do board officer elections. We're going to revisit our board member commitments and expectations, both of which are slated annually in this board member calendar that we get every year. I'm just moving it from this meeting to the August retreat. And then that is when we're going to try to have the Charter School Association come do their CSP required training with us. So I'll give you all a second to check calendars for Saturday, August 9th. Is that- Okay. Oh, Candace, I know you're trying.
I am. Tonight is fine, moving media is on the 16th.
Oh, nice. I'm always anxious when moving tickets now. Since
Same.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, do I have a motion to approve the annual board retreat date for August 9th?
Motion to approve the August date for the board retreat.
Thank you, Tara. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mina. Do we have public comment on this item? No. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay, now our next item is the annual calendar, board calendar.
Yeah, so we added in following the normal schedule of what we typically do as far as the days of the month that it falls. So we would add in the July 15th date, and you would have a special meeting and then a regular meeting. The special meeting would begin at 4:45, which is a public comment section on the proposed budget for the new year. We would invite the public to come in and talk to us about what their thoughts are on the budget, and then we would begin, and that meeting would really be for just conversation purposes only, talk about the budget. We would make no motion for anything at that time. Then we would have a regularly scheduled meeting immediately following the special meeting. One of the items on that meeting agenda would be the budget for that year. So that would be on July 15th. Then following suit, February 16th. And then, and this is the paper that it should be on. And then November 18th. And if necessary, hold your calendars for the 16th of December, should there be any reason to have a special meeting. Normally, we have those if a school is up for renewal. That actually should be on or about the time that we would hear about Lafayette and what would be happening in Lafayette. So we might need that meeting in December, but it would be only as necessary. Regular time for everything except for the special meeting at 4:45.
You said, it says 2024, so let's make sure.
Yeah.
So I,
Oh, thank you. I'm towards, okay, it's 2025. Yes, yeah, on the July. At the bottom, you'll see it does say July 24 through December
Oh, yeah,
25.
yeah.
Yes, so
Makes sense.
thank you for catching that, because when you said it, I only looked at the July line.
that's what I was,
Okay.
he called it different thing.
That's why we need everybody's eyes on it.
Okay,
yes,
so July 15th, August 9th, tentatively we'll get started. What did we do last year, 9?
For the board, I feel like
For
9.
the board retreat?
I feel like
So we'll tentatively slate 9 for that.
9.
5 p.m. September 16th, 5 p.m. November 18th, 5 p.m. 12/16. As needed. Any questions? And then we'll get an updated 2026 calendar at the end of the year.
Right, in November, you all will vote for the 26th annual calendar, and we will be all caught up. And then we'll vote on the calendar unless we have amendments to it.
And most importantly, I think compliance.
Yeah, always be compliant. Love the compliance.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you. Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the board meeting calendar as presented? Thank you, Nick. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you, Candace. Any public comment on this item? No, we do not. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. And we will move to our executive director's report.
So, each of you should have the paper copy, and I will put it up on the board so that we can all see it. As you guys know, we tend to give you an update on where we are with enrollment. And so in that third column, you'll see current enrollment, 2-1 enrollment versus current enrollment, and then I added in total enrollment over this year. What we can see, I feel like, is that obviously we're getting kids in the building. We need to make sure that we are moving them through to graduation. And one of the things that I discussed in particular with Nicole, with the number of students that we had graduating this year and when they graduated, right? We, if they're with you on 10-1 and they're not with you on 2-1, you're not getting paid for them on 2-1. And the issue becomes, we have a lot of students who graduate in between that time frame. So we have to be super mindful of those kids who are graduating, because again, they're not going to hit the 2-1 counts. We're not going to get funded for them because they've graduated, but we need to be aware that we are, in essence, losing those kids within that MFP count. So in Lafayette this year, they've had 14 students graduate. 14 students graduate. They have 2 more seniors from that 10-1 count of seniors who have the possibility of remaining to graduate, and we believe that they will graduate. 43% of them on cohort. We don't normally have students graduate on cohort because they come in far behind. With the changes that we've made academically and pacing, we're starting to see more students graduate on cohort. So it's something that we're tracking, and it's something that we'll be presenting to you all so that you're aware kind of where students are.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please do.
Is that part, are we evaluated on that from the state?
We're not evaluated on that. So traditional high schools get a traditional cohort graduation rate. Alternative schools get a single year graduation rate. So on October 1st, they look for seniors. Do they graduate in the year that they're a senior, right? And so we're doing pretty good with the kids who are supposed to graduate this year. Lafayette, as you all know, for the last 2 years, graduated 100% of their seniors, right? So kudos to them, and they're on track. Right? So for W1A, which includes the East Bank and the West Bank W1A kids, they had 38 students graduate already this year. They have 13 who are on track to finish by August 31st, which is the last day to be counted as the 25 graduates. They are moving in that direction. We're very excited about it. They had 50% of those students who've already graduated who were on cohort. Now, some of these kids are actually graduating early, but they're at least graduating either on cohort or early. West Bank had 15 students graduate already. 6 of them remain on track to graduation, and we're confident that they're going to make that mark. And 60% of those are students who graduated. So we're very happy to see that they're moving. This year, we've already had 67 graduates with 21 remaining. We will far outpace the number of students who graduated this year than we have in years past. We're super excited about that. That's great. Really, really excited about that. Especially when our seniors are such a small portion, they tend to be 20% of our population. So very excited that we're getting our students graduation. Or the CAP policy. The CAP policy, 100%. That academic policy of not giving students the opportunity to linger in courses has made a huge difference. And our focus on credit, right? So we had our Credit to Crawfish Challenge, the East Bank one. They had their crawfish boil last week. But all 3 campuses either were at or above the 1.5 credits every 90-day pace, which is super important, right? Kids pacing at that 1.5 credits means that they will earn 6 credits in a year. If they're pacing faster than that, they can earn up to 9 credits. So it's really important that we keep kids on that minimum 1.5, and they were able to do that. We were really excited. So our focus on credits is what is moving and driving students graduating. We're really very excited about it. Year-to-date attendance, you will see that all of the campuses are, they're kind of all over the place, right? So Lafayette is lower than they were last year. East Bank is higher than they were last year. West Bank is right about the same as they were last year. But when you look at credits earned, and we talk about this all the time, attendance with us doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be negative for credits earned. We are on pace to outperform what we did last year from credit attainment, even though attendance may not be higher this year than it was last year. So those last 2 columns deal with credits earned, and everybody is working really hard to get those credits in. You'll see that we are at 90% as of the 15th. And that's we had so many credits come in after the 15th. I feel like every day, if we're not updating the credit calendar, we're not giving you accurate information, because these kids are pumping out credits. They're doing a really good job. Our teachers are doing a great job. So I would imagine that we are going to hit that 100%. We're going to hit that number by early June, and then we'll outperform what we did last year. So we're really happy about kind of where we are and what we've done, and where we're at, especially since we have fewer students this year than we had last year. So our students are really, really working hard. They're doing a very good job. They are meeting the movement. And it is, if you've been in Lafayette and you've heard Kenneth celebrate when students earn a credit, they've started doing that on this campus in particular. Many things, Coach hollers, Kim in the front office brings
I love Coach Holler.
Yeah, it is. It's really great. In the last, if you're paying attention to the Facebook, in the last few weeks, with so many kids graduate, it's just one after the next, after the next, after the next. So it's very exciting, very exciting. So moving down, we talked about the changes in the NSBR grant cycle funds. It's not a change in how much they're allocating to, it's just when they're going to be dispersing those funds. The roof has been replaced here. They are going to start. Give a moment. How many years after I? But they're going to begin the work on the AC on the 26th, right? You might get in this room and think,
How's
why would
that
you
working?
need AC
Working.
work? We
Working
need
here.
AC work because while it's freezing in this room, it's nice and warm in the English classroom, right? So things have to get fixed, so they're doing that. And we'll begin the electrical and camera installation work at EVR starting next week. So we'll be moving on that. Give back nights. I know that you all were aware that we worked with Tuesdays, Chick-fil-A, Diaz. We have an event with nothing but cakes coming up on the East Bay. So please make sure that you order your nothing but cake. I think it's June 6th. I will confirm, but I'm almost
I'll send
positive
it out.
it's June. It's a Saturday. Pretty sure it's the 6th. And it's been a very good community relations opportunity for us. Those types of events aren't necessarily huge funding options, but Chick-fil-A came back with a proposal for us and said, hey, we want to do these events for you 6 times a year. We want to give you all these things. Excellent. We're very excited about it. Yes, Sean did a very good job. I mean, she is not here because her young man, her son, her little one is graduating from, is graduating. So we're very excited for press. He's graduating. Her older son graduated this past weekend. So she's had lots of things to do.
This one's graduating next year.
Protein free.
Aw.
Oh, yes, no, so precious. He's going to St. Aug next year. All very excited. Graduation for us, Lafayette is June 18th. West Bank is July 9th. East Bank has not selected a date yet, but it will be at the end of August. Same usual time, 6:30. Yep. And now the West Bank will be at Cafe Hope. I'll make sure that you all get all of those invitations. That will be July 9th at Cafe Hope, West Bank, and Lafayette at SLCC. Okay.
Wait, I was gonna ask a question.
Yeah.
Did you talk about the EVR community event yet?
I did not, and I should have. We did some partners. No, I just totally skipped over the partnership event. Thank you. We did 2 different partnership events in EVR, one on March 26th, one on April 29th, both of which were very well attended. We had folks from, in the March one, we had folks from the mayor's office, from the school, we had students from JCFA present. Everybody was very interested in JCFA. And then the April one was really for teachers and educators, and it was well attended. We even had 2 students, 2 potential students, come and participate the whole 4 hours hanging out with us, which was great. We have 18 applicants already in Baton Rouge. Our goal is 80 for the first year, so we're very pleased with where we are in that movement. And then this week on Friday, the West Bank hosted a partnership event here. Jordan was able to put that together. They had 24 attendees, which is really good for us to have 24 counselors, educators coming into the building at this time of the year when they are trying to close out schools, for them to come and spend the morning with us. And then the bottom, I wanted to share this with you. So one of the things that Jordan works on, she is both the pathways coordinator and recruitment. And when we talk about pathways, we talk about getting students into career opportunities, furthering their access to dual enrollment, career tech ed, courses outside of JCFA, and then CLEP testing. And so I wanted to show you all kind of the difference that she's been able to make. We haven't done a good job in Lafayette with CLEP. We need to get a CLEP. We need to get them situated for CLEP in Lafayette. But you'll see the local campuses. Last year, we had 1 student at W1A take the CLEP. They earned 2 credits. This year, we had 8 students, and they earned 16. Last year in the West Bank, nobody clept. This year, 10 students clept, and they earned 20 credits, right? So fantastic. We're moving in the direction that we want to move in with that. For dual enrollment, last year, W1D had 1 student who did 2 courses, so earned 6 college hours. This year, they had 1 student who did 4 courses, 2 a semester, and earned 12 college credits. He graduated last week. Very excited for him. He's a great kid. On the East Bank, we had 6 students last year with 10 college hours. We had 4 students this year with 12 college credits. West Bank, last year, no dual enrollment students. This year, 3 dual enrollment students with 9. So we're definitely moving in that direction. And then as far as the CTE and IVCA not offered on JCFA campus, last year, we didn't have anybody earn anything. This year, we had 6 credits and 4 IBCs on the East Bank, and 7.5 credits, 5 IBCs on the West Bank.
IBC is international.
No, industry-based certification.
Industry, thank you.
Industry-based certification.
I was like, wait a minute. And class is college credit.
Yes, left is college credit, correct.
And
So there's,
there's.
yes, there's 2 credits under CLEP or high school credit. Like, so they're getting both college credit, but we can also use the CLEP if they score high enough to award the high school credit. So we're very excited.
Did you use that high school scores? Like, as
So technically, yes, in the cohort, in the graduation index, you get a certain number of points, right?
so it ups their diploma strength.
It ups their diploma strength. Correct. So we're excited about that, right? The IBCs are really important for our students who are on the jump start pathway. They have to have these IBCs to meet the diploma pathway requirements. So these give them those IBCs. And these are not the only IBCs we offer. These are IBCs that aren't off of our campus. They're physically leaving JCFA to go get them.
Are there any out-of-pocket costs?
Yes. Yeah.
I was wondering, full enrollment especially.
Yeah.
In urban.
Yeah. 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 So not just students. JCFA covers all of the costs.
Good deal.
Yes, and we don't necessarily get, I'm not poking at anybody when I say this, but we don't necessarily get all of the funding from the state to cover all of these. We get a supplemental course allocation, and we can use some of our Title IV dollars. It doesn't necessarily cover the cost of everything. So it is MSP dollars that we're using to pay for it. Students they don't pay for their books, they don't pay a fee, they don't pay any of that. JCFA covers all of those costs so that every student is eligible to participate in all of them, right? Transportation, we give it all.
Does working still contribute to the diploma strength?
It does, as long as they're making a silver or above. We are making a change in our testing process. So we say in our charter that we will do benchmark testing on enrollment. We're changing from using the TABE to using the work keys when they come in. So students will take the work keys upon enrollment, and we'll use that to help guide where we feel like they can grow, right? And when we're talking about pathway development, being able to look at those work keys and see, okay, if they're really struggling on the work keys and they really want to do Tufts University, what needs to happen for them to be able to do so, right? But it also gives them, we feel like, a test that they may take with more fidelity, because we can have the conversation of, if you're scoring silver or above and you have this GPA, you can then qualify for the Tufts Tech opportunity, right? So having those conversations will hopefully get them to take the test with fidelity. That's one of the things that once we lost the opportunity to use it as an entrance requirement of having to score something on the TABE in order to be eligible, kids just stop taking it. So we don't want to have them take a test that they're just going to click through. If we can have a conversation with the student and the parent and talk about the benefit of work keys and the opportunities work keys can move it for them, we feel like they will be more likely to take it.
And this was a report, so we don't need to vote on it. We are just receiving it. Okay, our next item is consideration to go into an executive session regarding human resource changes and adding caveat here of parent concern that was raised to me today. So a reminder of how executive session works. We have to describe what we will be discussing going in. We vote to go in. We have an executive session. Then we come out and back to the public, and then we vote to return from executive session where we give a summary of what we talked about. Did I describe that correctly? Okay. So, consideration to open executive session. As I said, do I have a motion?
A motion that the board enter into an executive session.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Candace, for seconding. And we do have some public comment for this item. We have some parents and family members here tonight that we would like to welcome. So I have comment cards from you all. As we talked about before the meeting started, we allow 3 minutes for public comment from each speaker. So I'm going to call out your name. Feel free to introduce yourself to us, to the rest of the board, and then I'll start the timer for 3 minutes. So Ms. Alexis Billiot, come on up. Thank you for being here.
You can, if you want to come to the middle.
I have anxiety.
Okay, well, if you want to stand wherever you're comfortable.
Sorry.
Yeah, you get to
And I also can't really see, that's the other thing, I can't see well, and I have to do this thing of doubling up, which is really embarrassing. So I, first of all, I tried really hard to get my children into a school that worked for them. I have 2 ASD children, which is absolutely in abilities. It's different abilities, okay? And they're very smart, they're very bright, they're wonderful. But this struggle in life has been very real. And coming into a school so that my children can get a taste of life that they don't get, or the ASD, but in addition to the other challenges in our life that we have. I had made a Facebook post, and I said, I don't even remember, I just laid it out, I'm lost, and I help my kids. Someone responded, come to us, we want you, come to us. So I came to your school in East Spain. It's actually been kind of wonderful, except for a couple of things that absolutely would prevent us from being here. And I'll say us because I have a problem, it's a health issue. And doctors are they won't make it concrete. It makes it difficult for school systems to understand this. We are allergic to fragrances. I didn't understand. It's been a 58-year process for me to realize that the things I experienced in my lifetime come from things that I smell. And unfortunately, I had no idea that this was going to extend to my children. It's been eye-opening. I have 5 children, and they're here, because she didn't believe me. When she had reactions, I said, oh, I think it's this. But she's lived it. She's 28 herself now. She's at a point in life where she's worse than I was at her age. And the thing is, my sons, I see it. They can't breathe. They're pale. They get sullen. They get that allergy, shiners, and they're struggling. And when I look, I come to schools. I have had New Harmony. They spray the kids, the high schoolers, like they think they like my voice. They spray it in their face. It hurts, okay? And the schools where I've gone from one school to the other trying, they don't have fragrance policies. If you have policy, the first day of school, they have olive green pants on, dog ones, and they weren't allowed into the school. That's your policy. But consistently, all schools have told me, we cannot have it. We can't do that. Everybody wears it. Everybody uses it. And I'll be back another school board time then, okay?
Okay. I'll give you 1 more minute to finish your thought, if that works for you.
I'm just looking for y'all to consider that this is not just us. In every school that I've attempted to bring this up, people have not been brave enough to stand up for us at the meeting, but they come to me privately and said, me too. And that's huge for me. I'm trying to get fragrance policies, and I want people to consider it. It should be limited. Your students, many of them, my kids have reported things to me. They're covering up other adverse things that they're doing, smoking, vaping, marijuana. They're covering it up. If you can say the color of the pants, why can't you restrict it in the school as well? Why can't you make a policy? Why, if you're strict with other things, maybe here too?
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Miss Rachel Billiot?
Yeah, what?
Wherever you're most comfortable. Okay, so I'm going to try to be really quick with this. There's 3 topics I want to bring up, and I'll try and give a minute to each one. So this first one is about fragrances and the toxic effects on school students, which I'm also sharing some pertinent information in email ahead of time, and I would be happy to share the rest of the board first with additional information. Research shows that synthetic fragrances contain volatile organic compounds, particulate matters, and many other synthetic chemicals that lead to negative health effects such as allergic reactions and asthma, breathing difficulties, respiratory disorders, cutaneous pulmonary sensitivity, cancers, immune system dysfunction, among a list of other things. That particularly in our youth and sensitive populations at large. And so there are these ongoing movements at conferences, workplaces, and other schools across the country in support of education, science, and rules, asking for support and contribution of fragrance-free environments for the health and safety of sensitive populations and the general public at large. Sensitive populations are also often your canary in the coal mine, so what you're seeing happen to them on a very quick level will happen to you in time and age. So I believe the board could consider something along these lines as well in regards to fragrance use policies or like they do in workplaces. I've had some where they've implemented rules like that. It's just education for students and work members to understand what they can and can't do to help their coworkers and their co-students. The second thing for consideration is the zero tolerance policies that often leave no room for context or intent of a given situation, but may instead often jump to expulsion or suspension over common everyday items like nail clippers or 11 multi-tool. And so we often see these implemented and they leave no room for more nuanced approaches. And so in our experience, it doesn't leave like the room for, the policy criminalizes like the Boy Scout with a multi-tool, the honor roll student with a pair of nail clippers in class, kids who imitate like Call of Duty or Halo and things like that, or a girl with ID code, period. So these are just some things that we see issues within zero tolerance policies across the country. There's also an article that I mentioned in the email that explores this in a 10-page paper that I cannot cover. And so I wanted y'all to take a moment to consider, is the zero tolerance policy really serving what you want in creating a safer school atmosphere or not? Many research shows that it does not. And can you move to something that looks more within the nuances? And there are some things that have done the research that provide this as a pathway for you to look at instead. I think that's the third is about implementing a way to recover a student's confiscated items. According to Family Health and Families and a disability attorney we consulted, schools aren't meant to confiscate can confiscate, but not permanently keep or discard a confiscated item as would be considered theft. We were expecting, okay. So we were expecting a way for a parent at the very least to reclaim the items, the understanding that the student shouldn't bring it back to the school grounds. However, everything we've talked about this so far said there is no precedent or policy surrounding this issue and that they can keep the item to hold or discard as they please. I wanted to know, is this understanding correct? And is there no way for families to reclaim confiscated student items without a lawyer? Is there, and if there isn't, I wanted you to consider a way for dealing with confiscated items and pathways for families, students, or parents to reclaim them without outside judicial processes needing to come in for it. So those are just the first ones. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Emily, Julia? Thank you for being here.
Okay, so I have something enough for my mom, so I'm gonna start with that. Some people may think zero tolerance saves lives. I want to show the perspective to consider that it can cause harm. Studies have been done that show such policies can hurt in ways that may not be necessary. Especially people of color, poverty, males with different abilities, of which my son is all. I have guided him to social world his whole life. He is rigid, logical, and a rule follower, and this has caused some great embarrassment. Zero tolerance policy refers to state law. Policy is inconsistent with state law. It has been referred to as like a Swiss Army knife, but it is a pocket tool, multi-tool it uses for clippers, A disability advocacy attorney in FHS said item must be returned. Disconnect with the school decision. School was a gift and is irreplaceable, and we ask that he please give it back his multi-tool. He stated a couple weeks ago life is less interesting without it. He also stated he could not take care of himself and what he needs anymore. The other day in the store, there was an older couple that needed help moving some heavy boxes, and they needed help cutting something of it, and he could not move it without his multi-tool. This has also caused him to lose weight. And then this is something I wrote. I wanted to speak up to support my mother and sister's statements and say that there can and should be exceptions to rules because not every situation is the same, and this is one of those times. My brother is a strict rule follower, and this was a mistake he made that he was not aware of. I would also like to speak about my own experience with pregnancies in schools and the change my mom is advocating for. I ended up having to go out of the homebound program due to my allergic reactions getting so bad because no one would take it seriously. I couldn't even focus on learning, and I know my brothers are going through the same thing I was, just like our older sisters did. My brothers want to be in school. Please take this seriously and be the change. And this is not something only we are affected by.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
And the last card we have for this item is Thomas Steele.
And I'm Tom Fields, Billy, I feel dad. Dave was given that multi-tool by me. I bought it at a TX exchange when I was overseas in the military. His first 4, maybe 5 years of his life, I was gone a lot, deployed multiple times. Dave knows on the ASD, very technically oriented stuff. So I started buying him Mega Blocks sets. And he can take them, we actually bought a Lego once, certified rockets this tall, supposed to be an expert though. He put it together in 3 hours. The problem with bricks are, you get some of them stacked together, if you hit it in the wrong order, it's almost impossible to get them apart. So I found this little multi-tool, a Swiss Army knife, definition in the world says it's a Swiss Army knife. That's something special, specific for the Swiss Army. So, so they had little tools that come out that you could use to pry those pieces apart. The main thing, it had pliers and stuff. So over time, he's used those things, and it's increased his ability to comprehend and understand things and his self-worth. As Emily had said, that he likes to help people. He's like Johnny on the spot. Let me help you out. I got a screwdriver. It really makes him feel good because he doesn't really know where he's at in this world with things, because he doesn't understand a lot of issues that we take for granted.
Sure.
But he's also very technically oriented and things of that nature. He did a lot of self-study stuff. That's why he's a good student. And he was not bringing that school on purpose that day. He had just forgotten it in his pocket. So there was no malice, no intent. He didn't understand that that was something that wasn't even supposed to be at school. I do believe the board found that he was not guilty of ill intent and did not apply what the law states. So logic states that he should get his property back. And that's what I'm asking. That specific tool means something specific for him. Just like a parent gave a young child a toy, and that toy became very special to him. This is a little tool that has become very special to him and a lot of meaning. Me buying him another one doesn't replace it.
Sure.
We had a vampire, and he lost one of the little bitty babies, called my buddy. Burned up in the fire, tried to give him another one. He was inconsolable about losing nothing to replace the one he lost. It's the same thing with that tool. Puts special significance towards it. It's that exactly. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And that ends our public comment. Thank you all for being here tonight and sharing your experiences and your opinions. I really appreciate it. So we're about to vote on going into executive session. There's no real time limit for which we're in that, but once we're finished with our conversations, we'll come out to return and give a summary. I can't guarantee that we'll have answers for you after that. What I can tell you is that if we don't have answers to what you brought up, that I, as a board chair, will follow up with you all using your contact information that you provided and that I have from talking with Ms. Gilead earlier today. So thank you all. Okay. Took a motion. Did we have a second? Yep. Candace, thank you. I just didn't write it down. Okay, thanks. All right. All those in favor to enter into executive session, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we will officially move into executive session and we will be back. Perhaps shut down.
Cover this? Well, I guess I'll just leave it.
Did I tell you to bring your partners? That's gonna do it. Oh, actually, next week.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and month that. And I'm still tomorrow. Well, no, it's 30 years old. She's 30.
Yeah.
She went over with it. She does. I even thought they were early. So she was like, I know. Sure. Right. Yeah. Here, dinner draw. 1 year was twice before, so they went to rice farms 3 years ago. It actually, this year. One, like, so, there's kind of stuff. What's really and start talking about it. She was like, so, we're really going to share that. We'll start at it. And, we had so we're just check little ones. Yeah. I'll call that. All the school. They're pretty good. Show what's going on. So she don't. 85. Mom was like, no. I don't remember. Frozen salad back here while I brought my dad. So, able to. Yeah. Could be a lot. You know, like, to go. Maybe. And yeah, the idea, like, get up on the street and walk 2 blocks, go down the subway. Yeah, he didn't have the same. What we're doing? When he talked about why we're bringing these here? I wouldn't know.
Well, really, I wish you really just, vulnerable out the street. Did I got the training, you doing insurance, work?
Call my and like, hey, you, like, if you want to come back.
Yeah, you're gonna be the 72.
You probably, well, you control.
So, we have more time to work on it. So, but I really like. We that's like.
Right, right.
That was fun out there. We're not. Like, wow, we so very much. Yeah. Tall. That's the actual. My wife, when she grew up after I. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I knew about the story. She might have talked about me. You saw the tractor. So that's really all. What it does is we so her first year, right? They matched by the end of the grade. So that program back. Oh, no, it's, just laugh. Like, you little. And I was like, are you, I'm sure you're why is it a wall? So he was like, what? It's there. What do you have? So I think. Yeah. For you want to do Yeah. You got the best. My dad, I waited for the next day. JCFA, she's like, you have a marker. You have a marker. You have a ticket. No. I was like, yes, I was really mad. I was like, yes, yeah. I literally didn't show her. So I just leave it here. Leave it here for right now. That's what I think. I mean, I don't think it's bad. If it's all something. Yeah. So I don't forget.
Yeah, it's not like it.
I'm gonna. It's apparently right.
Got that, apologize.
But I do like mine.
They allow me. I might try for you. Yeah. I don't know. Got the spread. So he knows.
All right, see y'all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really on the tight side, like, telling everyone, I'm like, okay, there's my stuff.
So great, that's great.
I mean, we might have to excuse that. If you go down, it's got to that. Yeah, they Yeah. Well, at least I know where to nudge. Yeah. It would be close to home, it would be a short drive. Right there, like over. They should be private. Get better not. It's not good with overrated.
Right, well, Florida.
I just feel they don't. Yes. Yeah. So we really needed to work, we could lower it, but you just go to adjustment.
There's a little.
Yeah, Greenwood. They really think the whole show over the answer.
For here, we love a time travel.
I'm an AK.
Oh.
Two. Yeah, originally. Then.
spreadsheet model.
Yeah.
And it's my second week with that moment. Spreadsheet.
I'm like, I, the other day I was struggling with the formula. And it was out there, we couldn't, my buddy ChatGPT was like, here it is, here you go. And I was like, what? So, I told myself, I take the new one. In Excel, and now I'm
All of us.
I was working for a solid hour. And a half of it like 5. And Jenny said that you could do all that. I was really.
That makes sense.
It's really only got done. Take a copy. I got it.
Oh, we got it.
So this is one, like, I've probably done it differently, but it's really interesting. So I have enrollment grade levels at the top, and it's telling me how many, multiple schools, and it's telling me how many kids are in each grade level. I just want to range. Okay. So I want you to tell me if it's a K-12 school or a K-8 school or, yeah, it's all around. She's like, so more time. One of my first method was, if you find a number here, make it a 1 for the first grade column. Yeah. Then if you find a number here, make it a 2. So then I would text join. And then I would think, okay, that's like each one. And then I'm like, okay, now
take the first character from this column and the last character from this column. And you're right. So, last sentence, right? Exactly. Sure. Absolutely. I'm asking all the time, you're gonna have to feel it. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, front end work. That's work about it. I'm like, we're close enough to AAA to I don't want to do that. Yeah, yeah, those are the people. So like here, AAA is that. Very much story. I'll take it yeah. Where did you get that? Published. But he will tell me, where did you get that? Why did you request that? Yeah, you already published it, I just told you. Jamie Ridge is my go-to. She wasn't there. Gotcha. Yeah. Jamie Ridge is my go-to. Then, like, I already asked for the time to be jurors. Oh, that's not bad. I don't think I'm sure. Yeah, so just say accept. Then somebody can have. Or that. Paperwork, in the hospital, and sort of. I would ignore her. I would ignore her. That's all you have to do. Paperwork. And he had called and. Was it that? Okay, that's it. What was supposed to switch? We were supposed to switch to. Yeah, it works.
So when I started, when we opened the thing, I was the principal position. I mean, there were 9 different systems. K-Check, SIR, FTS, all done. When I moved into this role, we still had it. Theory was, plan, all 9 systems, and we just have one system. Everything reporting to, so that the overall insurance from that. First time we got she be a year ago. So they pull SDS out. And so just sit it first. So we're not actually start. The survey for that. Now slowly, now CDR. Scores.
They had a handful of people first.
Again, attachment to the last. Well, I mean, what I design stuff, or there's another. And she's saying where she looks like. You know. It has the teeth. So there's I'll give all of our sessions. They don't mind that at all, let me do that. Not at all. They're on to. Yeah. Slow down on. You know what? She changes. Correct. She's older.
Traffic and.
Oh, that's okay. She said, we were just trying to make a great effort. I don't need that. Yeah. Yeah, and I think. They've been outside the window.
I do that. It's double what it's starting.
It is a ton of. Always. Like when when I had. Just like. 11, I was like. Very excited. It's 3 degrees in here. There's a class of the fall. We get back to that. And that's all problem. Yeah. They want to log in, everybody should say, well, we need a teacher. And we're very good at that. She didn't feel that. There's something here. Talk about our original health. But you're gonna need outerwear. This is.
Like 97, 99. Okay. 7. Right. So. Oh, yeah, so I don't think it's on your side. Wow.
It was just something with better, so we also better discussion, but it has. So we tried to work my house and get full glass air, but places weren't open. Yeah. You know, like full glass. Yeah. Right, chicken. Yeah. 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 No, it's not. No. No. If I leave my house at 5:30, I can cruise all the way, I might get a catch a break time or two around Springs. And I'll make it all the way to the 40 minutes. I leave 10 minutes later, sit on it. And I get past that, past the airline, I get down to Split, or close to a little bit past College Drive. And in the afternoon, yes. If I'm not in my car at 3:02. Yeah. All the good water. Yeah. It's a lie. That actually, it starts to slow down past first. And it's very much like you're stopped before the walk. Shit. She's like, yeah, it's a lighter way to jump up 110. The summer, they had ski bumps. Those are nice too in the summer. Yeah.
That is true. My parents all had it. Sorry. She wants that visit to their house. Yes, she had to go there.
Okay, go point.
Yeah, all of us who live on this side. And she did.
We should be going to. And nobody's like, it's like Independence Day, nobody's coming to wash out. Or,
Like independent, same thing.
that one day, but she started to see the day. Oh, yeah, no.
What is the space again? It's like, and I like it here, so I think I have. The factory is that one.
So let's meet this. And the first one.
Oh, and what is that? She was saying somebody else is out there. Oh,
Get that.
that's really good there. It's in there. She's not So if you all graduate seniors this year, 3 and 4, do you continue the roll throughout the year? Or you try to? We do. And so we try not to roll these. So we'll do that also. So those teams all time. So just in so we'll enroll in January, which is not like the month that we will enroll in February.
Oh, and
Yeah, and so, for example, this year we have an orientation, March, 1 week after. And then more students enrolled with us from Jefferson Parish School to start the LPT at every school. But I had not finished it. I was like, I'm getting ready to, technical department, a heart attack. Hey guys. Okay, not ready for my first week of the LPT. But we'll do an orientation in March. And we'll be a basic teams. Usually our annual application period. As they say, it's the legacy. We made it. Well, and then our orientation. During that break, when there's some classification, we'll do another orientation. Individual. Wake up. Apply, March, and it's that orientation.
yeah, it's like from making the decision to come back, and somebody what to do. This will be too hard. Yeah.
And it will work on starting the application. Usually early this year. The previous years we chose. No. This is for vaccines. We did uniform. It was a long winter, but
That's it.
yeah, but we try to start it all there. Yeah. But, yeah. And we don't have somebody very long to wait break.
You'll know better, small back, it's there. It's called, right.
Yeah. And start. Even though we got small school there. We had 4 to 6 grades. One of the small. Because we're not a traditional school, they're in the classroom. Right. We're fortunate that we have, we're set up where we do test where we have one. But they're set up as here.
Right, right.
And so we can take a whole lot of things, not disrupt.
Right.
And so our, that's what we are. On the team, so we're that on the making workshops. So I give you she wants to start, she likes it. But
Nervous about it.
Well, we have to go look at the smaller parts. Yeah. We have to schedule based on. So we could, one out, so we get the action after those. Those one, or not. Right. Everyone, try to get the whole calendar out as possible. Everyone, ever had an issue we have a situation, but 4 students show up with all of them, 3 different subjects. But these people forgot, they don't know what they can. So, first she didn't enter the door, that's who we're making up that day. Out of, certain conversation with her. Yeah.
They understand. Work around the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was asking, because we're going to partner with the UVA. And so all of our testing, we travel across the state. Yeah, yeah, and UVA. Yes. So, when, as we grew, we ended up having, hired temp service. And got them trained up. The necessary training there. And if you want to do the insurance. It's like 15 teachers. Yeah. Yeah, and ours was, we had ours, 3 to 8 in 1 week. Oh, yeah. Open, then 9 to 12 the next week, and then usually it's a week break, and then, yeah. And work keys with in between. We try to, there's work keys in that. But, really, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's fine. Right. Something to you, which is. Right. They would challenge. So. 12 break. Yes, we use 12 breaks. But one thing also would definitely, to, say much one word, actually, you know. We would concentrate on what team is our different. So we just remember, and that way, we work each other, January, somewhere in February, and then we'll be March, July. So. Pretty much testing year round. Time. Are there 9 months? This was my method, this is how my principal in my class. Keep it going, yes. In May, she had a heater under her neck. She walked in, she goes, oh, God. Turn your heater on, I want to turn it She asked me, before the last question, "Did you do that?" I'm like, yes, 100%. At my level. But it was really, I was really good. I will and sweat. Go to the gym and sweat. Well, time to play football with y'all. I'll sweat. Sweat. And from y'all, that's not sweat work. I would recommend small. Yeah, there's like love or hate, and then just zero. Call your mom. If you're going to high school next year, sure, call your mom.
No idea.
Yeah, no.
I think that's something. I think it already did. No. I think if you're asking about your mom, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, like, in that other room. No problem.
It's really cold.
Welcome to work.
Shut this down.
Remember your password?
Started to change.
That's my phone, that's the only way in the story. She went to the league.
Boy, it's your turn.
Yeah, you can really tell the difference. Come back warmly.
I know.
We assumed y'all were taking a while because y'all were comfy and warm wherever you
She was warming
It was still chilly in there.
It was still chilly.
chili or
Yeah, there's a difference.
There's that's definitely a plus.
there's more cold.
Exactly.
Now I know why you have to be here. Shells.
What's really that?
Oh,
Very cold people. It is the joke. I really wish my house felt like this. I have to going on like I'm
You're welcome. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now that we are back,
for
where did I do this?
Didn't need it.
Okay, so we come back from executive session. We have to vote to return back to executive session during. Back from executive session. Thank you. During that executive session, we discussed HR matters as well as parent and family concerns that were raised here tonight. Do I have a motion to return from executive session?
I motion to return from executive session.
Second. Thank you, Mina. Thank you, Candace, for seconding. Do we have a comment on returning from session? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. We are officially returned back to our open meeting. Before we adjourn, I forgot to raise this, these two priority updates I received from, the board received from the state, that I wanted to bring up during the executive director report, but I forgot, so my apologies. So, in April, we received a priority update from the state, with regard to high school opportunities, KPIs and initiatives. And so I brought this up previously, like the state sends us these priority updates on different topics regularly, and then they send each of us a report for each campus. So they gave us like a report for each campus for high school endeavor, for high school opportunity and KPIs. So I just wanted to make y'all aware of that as you review your email documents, that this is, that they send this periodically, and this was what they sent in April. And then in May, they sent us one related to ensuring students are taught by a high quality teacher. And they give us a report for each campus, number of retained teachers and number of retained school years. So I didn't know if y'all had any questions, but I didn't want to just like not address this. So again, these are reports that we received from the state. And I don't know if you had any additional context that you wanted to raise about them or not.
Well, I would say that that is part of the reason why we did the dual enrollment CTE and CLEP information. It goes similarly with this. And one thing that I will say with the employment information, I'm not sure that it's accurate based on the count that it has, and that's in part because of how some of our people are spread over areas. So,
I see. Okay. Helpful. And then at the end of each of the teacher educator reports, they give an overview of the pathways to teaching and the various certifications that are allowable. So all very good information. If you haven't reviewed it, I encourage you to. It has some helpful information. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. Okay. On that note, our next item is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Candace, for making that second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Wait, sorry. Do we have public comment on adjournment? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we're adjourned at 7:13. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
everything.
And I'll send a follow-up email out, and our next meeting is July 15th.